Listen, there are moments in life when everything feels still, like nothing is moving, nothing is changing, and nothing is working in your favor. You wake up with the same weight on your chest, you carry the same questions in your mind, and you wonder if anything is ever going to shift. It feels like you've been doing the work, saying the prayers, holding on to faith, yet somehow the results haven't caught up with your effort. But what if this stillness is not stagnation? What if this silence is not absence? What if behind the scenes something greater is being prepared specifically for you? You see, we often expect transformation to come with noise, with visible signs, with clear direction. We think that when something big is about to happen, we'll feel it, we'll see it, we'll recognize it immediately. But sometimes the most powerful moves happen quietly. Sometimes the greatest blessings are formed in hidden places where doubt tries to convince you that nothing is happening. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can either let frustration take over, or you can prepare yourself for what you cannot yet see. Preparation is not about having all the answers. It's about positioning your heart and your mindset so that when the moment arrives, you are ready to receive it. Because the truth is, opportunities don't always come when we feel ready. They come when purpose calls. And if you spent all your time focusing on what's missing instead of who you are becoming, you might miss the very thing you've been praying for. So instead of asking why it hasn't happened yet, ask yourself if you are ready for it when it does. There is something powerful about expectation. Not the kind that demands a specific outcome, but the kind that trusts that something meaningful is on the way. When you wake up expecting goodness, even in uncertainty, you shift your energy. You stop living in survival mode and start living in anticipation. You carry yourself differently. You speak differently. You make decisions differently. Because deep down, you believe that something is about to change. And here's the thing about change. It rarely looks the way you imagined. The surprise you've been waiting for may not arrive in the package you expected. It might come disguised as a challenge, an unexpected door, or even a closed one that redirects you somewhere better. That's why staying ready is so important, because if you are too attached to one version of the blessing, you might reject the very path that leads to it. Growth has a way of stretching you before it elevates you. It asks you to let go of comfort, to release control, and to trust even when the path is unclear. And that can be uncomfortable. It can feel like everything is being shaken. But sometimes things have to fall apart so that something stronger can be built in its place. Sometimes the delay you're frustrated about is actually protection. Sometimes the waiting is preparing you for a level you haven't reached before. You are not where you were a year ago. Even if you can't see it clearly, you have grown. You have endured things that once would have broken you. You have learned lessons that have shaped your perspective. You have developed strength in places where you once felt weak. And all of that is part of the preparation. All of that is evidence that something is shifting. Even if the final picture isn't visible yet, staying ready also means letting go of the past version of yourself. The one who doubted, the one who settled, the one who believed that this was as far as life could go. Because where you are going requires a different mindset. It requires confidence, resilience, and a willingness to step into something unfamiliar. You cannot carry old fears into new opportunities and expect to fully embrace what's ahead. There is a moment coming where everything will make sense, where the confusion, the delays, the unexpected turns will all connect in a way that you couldn't have predicted. And when that moment comes, you won't have time to go back and prepare. That's why now matters. How you think now matters. How you respond now matters. Because this is the season where you are being shaped for what's next. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to see the entire path. You just need to stay open, stay faithful, and stay ready. Ready to move when the opportunity comes. Ready to say yes when fear tells you to hesitate. Ready to trust that what's unfolding is working in your favor, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Sometimes we ask for change, but when it starts to happen, we resist it because it feels unfamiliar. But unfamiliar does not mean wrong. It often means growth. It means expansion. It means you are stepping into something greater than what you've known before. And that can feel uncomfortable, but it is also where transformation lives. You have not been forgotten. You have not been overlooked. There is a timing to everything, and your moment is not late. It is being aligned in a way that will make sense when it arrives. And when it does, it won't just meet your expectations. It will exceed them in ways you couldn't have planned. So keep showing up, keep believing, keep preparing your mind and your heart for what is ahead. Because the shift you've been waiting for is closer than you think. And when it arrives, it will require you to step into it without hesitation. There is something deeply uncomfortable about waiting, especially when you know you've been putting in the effort, doing the work, and showing up even on the days when it felt heavy. Waiting has a way of making you question everything, your direction, your purpose, even your worth. It whispers doubts into your mind, making you wonder if you have missed your moment or if you were ever truly meant for something greater. But what if this season you're in right now is not a delay, not a denial, but a necessary preparation for something you cannot yet fully understand? Most people think breakthroughs happen suddenly, like a door swings open out of nowhere and everything changes overnight. But what they don't see is the process behind that moment. They don't see the quiet seasons where discipline was built, where patience was tested, where character was refined. They don't see the internal work that had to take place before the external opportunity could even exist. Because the truth is, if the opportunity arrives before you are ready, it can overwhelm you, confuse you, or even cause you to lose it. Just as quickly as it came, preparation is not always visible. It doesn't always come with applause or recognition. Sometimes it looks like showing up when no one is watching. It looks like choosing growth over comfort, even when comfort feels so much easier. It looks like developing habits, strengthening your mindset, and aligning your actions with the person you're becoming, even when there is no immediate reward. And that is the part that most people struggle with because it requires faith without evidence, consistency without validation, and effort without instant results. There is a version of you that can handle what you've been praying for, but that version has to be developed. That version thinks differently, reacts differently, and carries a different level of responsibility. And so the waiting season becomes a training ground. It becomes the place where you learn how to manage pressure, how to stay grounded in uncertainty, and how to keep moving forward even when you don't see clear progress. It's easy to believe in yourself when things are working out. It's easy to stay motivated when you're seeing results. But the real test comes when everything feels still, when the progress is slow, and when you're tempted to give up because nothing seems to be changing. That is where preparation happens the most. That is where your mindset is strengthened. That is where your resilience is built. Because if you can stay committed in those moments, you are proving that you are ready for something bigger somethings. What feels like a delay is actually protection. You may be ready for the opportunity emotionally, but not yet prepared mentally or spiritually to sustain it. And if it came too soon, it could bring more harm than good. So instead of rushing the process, there is wisdom in embracing it. There is strength in trusting that every step, every challenge, every moment of waiting is serving a purpose that will become clear in time. Preparation also requires letting go of certain things, letting go of old habits that no longer serve you, letting go of mindsets that limit your growth, letting go of the need for constant reassurance, because the next level of your life will require a different level of discipline, a different level of focus, and a different level of belief in yourself. You cannot step into something new while holding on to everything from your past. There is a quiet transformation that happens when you commit to becoming better, even without seeing immediate results. Your confidence starts to shift, not because of what you have, but because of who you are becoming. Your perspective changes, allowing you to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to align with the very thing you've been waiting for. You begin to notice that your reactions are different. Things that once frustrated you no longer have the same effect. Situations that once made you doubt yourself no longer shake your confidence. That is preparation. That is growth happening beneath the surface. And while it may not feel as exciting as the breakthrough itself, it is far more important. Because without that foundation, the breakthrough would not be sustainable. It's important to understand that preparation is not about perfection. It's not about having everything figured out or being completely free of fear. It's about progress. It's about becoming more aware, more intentional, and more aligned with your purpose. It's about choosing to grow even when it's uncomfortable and trusting that the effort you're putting in now is not going to waste. There will be moments when you feel tired, when you feel like you've been waiting too long, when you feel like nothing is happening. In those moments, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. But that is exactly when you need to remind yourself that something is happening, even if you cannot see it. Growth is taking place. Strength is being built. Clarity is being formed, and all of it is preparing you for what is ahead. You are not stuck. You are being positioned. You are not being ignored. You are being developed. And every step you take, every effort you make, every time you choose to keep going despite how you feel, you are moving closer to the moment where everything shifts. That moment will not come as a surprise to the version of you that has been preparing, because you will recognize it, you will step into it, and you will be ready to handle it. And when that ante arrives, it will not just be about the opportunity itself. It will be about who you have become in the process of getting there, because that is what truly determines whether you can sustain it, grow from it, and use it to create something meaningful. The preparation is not separate from the breakthrough. It is the reason the breakthrough can exist at all. There is a natural tendency to imagine that the answers to your life will arrive in ways that make perfect sense to you. You build expectations around how things should happen, when they should happen, and what they should look like when they finally arrive. You create a picture in your mind that feels comfortable, predictable, and aligned with what you believe is best for you. But life has a way of stretching beyond those expectations, presenting opportunities and changes in forms that feel unfamiliar, unexpected, and sometimes even uncomfortable. The challenge is not just in receiving what you've been waiting for. The challenge is not just in receiving what you've been waiting for, but in recognizing it when it shows up differently than you imagine. Because sometimes the very thing you've been praying for arrives disguised as a disruption. It interrupts your routine, shifts your plans, and forces you out of your comfort zone. And in that moment, it's easy to misinterpret the change as something negative, something to resist, something to avoid. Or what if that disruption is actually a redirection towards something greater? Trusting the unexpected path requires a level of faith that goes beyond logic. It asks you to believe that even when things don't make sense, there is still purpose in the process. It challenges you to let go of the need to control every outcome and instead embrace the idea that there is a bigger picture unfolding, one that you may not fully understand right now, but one that is ultimately working in your favor. There are moments when doors close and it feels like a setback. You question why something didn't work out, why an opportunity slipped away, or why a plan you were so sure about didn't come together. But what you cannot always see in that moment is what you are being protected from or what you are being prepared for. Sometimes a closed door is not a rejection, but a redirection. It is life guiding you away from something that was not aligned with your future and steering you towards something that is the unexpected path often requires you to step into uncertainty. It asks you to move forward without having all the answers, without knowing exactly how things will turn out. And that can be uncomfortable, especially if you are someone who likes to feel in control. But growth does not happen in certainty. It happens in the moments where you choose to trust. Even when you don't have all the details figured out, there is strength in flexibility. There is power in being able to adjust your expectations without losing your sense of purpose. Because when you are too rigid in your thinking, you limit your ability to see new opportunities. You become so focused on one specific outcome that you overlook other possibilities that may be even better than what you originally planned. But when you remain open, when you allow yourself to explore different paths, you create space for something greater to enter your life. It's important to understand that not every unexpected turn is meant to break you. Some are meant to build you. Some are meant to teach you lessons that you could not have learned any other way. Some are meant to introduce you to people, experiences, and opportunities that will shape your future in ways you never anticipated. And while those moments may feel confusing or even painful at the time, they often become the very things that lead you to where you are meant to be. Trusting the process does not mean that you will not feel fear. It does not mean that you won't have moments of doubt or uncertainty. It means that despite those feelings, you choose to keep moving forward. You choose to believe that there is meaning in the journey, even if you cannot see it clearly. You choose to hold on to the idea that everything is unfolding as it should, even if it doesn't match your original plan. There is also a certain level of humility that comes with trusting the unexpected path. It requires you to accept that you do not have all the answers, that your perspective is limited, and that there may be possibilities beyond what you can currently see. And instead of resisting that idea, you embrace it. You allow yourself to be guided, to be shaped, and to be led in directions that you may not have chosen on your own, but that ultimately serve your growth. Sometimes the path forward will require you to take risks. It will require you to step into situations that feel unfamiliar, to pursue opportunities that seem uncertain, and to make decisions that others may not understand. And in those moments, you have to trust your inner sense of direction. You have to believe that even if the outcome is not guaranteed, the experience itself will contribute to your growth and your journey. There will be times when the unexpected path feels lonely, when you look around and it seems like everyone else has a clear direction while you are navigating through uncertainty. But it is important to remember that your journey is unique. What works for someone else may not be what is meant for you. And just because your path looks different does not mean it is wrong. It simply means that it is yours. As you continue to move forward, you may begin to notice patterns. Moments that once felt random start to connect. Experiences that once seemed unrelated begin to make sense. And slowly, the bigger picture starts to reveal itself. You begin to see how each unexpected turn, each challenge, each redirection has played a role in shaping your journey. You begin to understand that nothing was wasted, nothing was meaningless, and nothing was out of place. This is where trust deepens, not just in the process, but in yourself. Because as you navigate the unexpected, you start to realize that you are more capable than you once believed. You develop resilience, adaptability, and a sense of confidence that comes from knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. And that realization changes everything. You stop fearing the unknown and start embracing it. You stop resisting change and start welcoming it. You stop trying to control every outcome and start focusing on how you show up in each moment, because you understand that while you may not be able to predict the path, you can control your response to it. You can choose to move with faith instead of fear, with openness instead of resistance, and with trust instead of doubt. And in doing so, you align yourself with possibilities that you may have never considered before. You open doors that you didn't even know existed. You create opportunities that go beyond your original expectations, and you begin to experience a level of growth and fulfillment that comes from trusting not just what you can see, but also what you cannot. The unexpected path is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced, because within it lies the potential for transformation, for discovery. And for a future that is greater than anything you could have planned on your own. There comes a moment in every journey where it is no longer just about what you want to achieve, but about who you must become in order to sustain it. It is easy to focus on the outcome, to dream about the success, the breakthrough, the elevation, but what often goes unnoticed is the end. Internal transformation required to truly receive and handle those things. Because growth is not just about reaching a new level, it is about developing the capacity to live, function, and thrive within that level without losing yourself. Becoming the person who is ready to receive requires an honest look within. It asks you to confront the habits, thoughts, and beliefs that may have carried you this far but cannot take you any further. It requires you to question the limits you have placed on yourself, the fears you have allowed to guide your decisions, and the doubts that have kept you from stepping fully into your potential. And that kind of self-awareness is not always comfortable, because it forces you to acknowledge that sometimes the greatest obstacle in your life is not external, but internal. There is a difference between wanting something and being prepared for it. Wanting is emotional. It is driven by desire, by vision, by hope. But being prepared is intentional. It is built through discipline, through consistency, through the choices you make every day when no one is watching. And the truth is, you can want something deeply, but if you have not developed the mindset and the character to sustain it, it will either slip away or become overwhelming when it arrives. This is why growth often feels like pressure, because it is stretching you beyond your comfort zone. It is asking you to let go of the familiar and step into something uncertain. It is requiring you to act in ways that feel new and sometimes even intimidating, but that pressure is not there to break you. It is there to shape you. It is there to build the strength, the resilience, and the confidence you will need in the next phase of your life. Letting go of past versions of yourself is one of the hardest parts of this process. There are parts of you that feel safe because they are familiar, even if are limiting. There are patterns of thinking that you have carried for so long that they feel like truth, even when they are holding you back. And releasing those things can feel like losing a part of yourself, but in reality, you are not losing who you are. You are shedding what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. There is power in choosing to believe differently, to see yourself not through the lens of your past mistakes or your current limitations, but through the lens of your potential, to understand that your identity is not fixed, that you are constantly evolving, constantly growing, constantly becoming. And when you begin to embrace that truth, you start to move differently. You start to make decisions based on where you are going, not just where you have been. Confidence plays a significant role in this transformation, but not the kind of confidence that depends on external validation. It is a quiet confidence, a deep knowing that you are capable, that you are prepared, that you can handle what comes your way. And that kind of confidence is built over time through experience, through overcoming challenges, through proving to yourself again and again that you can rise above what once seemed impossible. There will be moments when doubt tries to return, moments when you question whether you are truly ready, whether you are truly capable, whether you can really step into what is ahead of you. And in those moments, it is important to remember that readiness does not mean the absence of fear. It means the willingness to move forward despite it. It means choosing to act even when you feel uncertain because you trust that you will figure it out along the way. Becoming ready also means developing the discipline to maintain what you receive. It is not just about reaching the opportunity. It is about sustaining it. It is about showing up consistently, manage it. It is about showing up consistently, manage it in your responsibilities and continuing to grow even after you have achieved a certain level of success. Because every new level brings new challenges, new expectations, and new opportunities for growth. You cannot carry a mindset of limitation into a life of expansion. If you continue to think small, to doubt yourself, to settle for less than you are capable of, you will struggle to fully embrace the opportunities in front of you. But when you begin to expand your thinking, when you allow yourself to believe that more is possible, you open yourself up to experiences that align with that belief. It is also important to surround yourself with influences that support your growth. The environments you place yourself in, the conversations you engage in, the people you allow into your space, all of these things shape your mindset and your direction. And if you are serious about becoming the person who is ready to receive, you have to be intentional about what you allow to influence you. There is a level of responsibility that comes with growth. It is not just about what you gain, but about how you use it. It is about the impact you make, the example you set, the way you carry yourself in situations that require integrity, patience, and wisdom. And that is why the process of becoming is so important, because it prepares you not just for the opportunity, but for the responsibility that comes with it. As you continue on this journey, you will start to notice a shift. The things that once intimidated you will begin to feel manageable. The goals that once felt distant will begin to feel within reach. And the version of yourself that once seemed out of reach will start to feel like who you are becoming every single day. You will begin to realize that readiness is not a destination, it is a continuous process. It is something you cultivate daily through your thoughts, your actio, and your choices. And the more you commit to that process, the more aligned you become with the opportunities that are meant for you. You are not waiting to become ready. You are becoming ready in the waiting. Every step you take, every lesson you learn, every challenge you overcome is shaping you into the person who can receive, sustain, and grow into everything that is ahead of you. And when the moment comes, you will not have to question whether you are ready because you will have already done the work to step into it with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Everything you have walked through, every delay that tested your patience, every unexpected turn that forced you to grow, and every quiet moment where you felt like nothing was happening has all been part of something far greater than you could see at the time. None of it was wasted. Every experience has been shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for a moment that is closer than you think. What once felt like confusion is slowly turning into clarity. What once felt like pressure is revealing itself as purpose. And what once felt like waiting is proving to be preparation. You have been building resilience in seasons where you wanted to give up. You have been developing strength in moments that felt heavy. You have been growing in ways that are not always visible, but deeply necessary. And now you stand in a place where everything you have learned, everything you have endured, and everything you have endured, and everything you have become is about to align with an opportunity that will require every bit of that growth. This is not the time to doubt yourself. This is not the time to shrink back or question your worth. This is the time to recognize that you are not the same person you used to be. You have evolved. You have matured. You have matured. You have gained the wisdom and the courage that you once lacked. And because of that, you are capable of stepping into what is ahead of you with confidence and purpose. The surprise that is coming into your life is not random. It is intentional. It is aligned with the work you have been doing, both seen and unseen. It is connected to the person you have been becoming, not just the things you have been asking for. And when it arrives, it will not just change your circumstances. It will confirm that every step of your journey had meaning, so stand firm in your belief. Stay open to the unexpected. Continue to prepare your heart and your mind for what is ahead. Because when the moment comes, it will not ask. If you are ready, it will reveal that you already are. Your breakthrough is not coming someday. It is closer than you think, and you're ready for it now.